All right, what's going on, guys? All right, just woke up here. It's 7 o'clock in the morning here. I have some crazy, crazy information. I just came up. This huge thing popped up in my head. I don't know if I dreamed about it or something. Just came up to me. I thought I had to share this with you. This is very, very important. I think this is some information that's going to make you com- have a completely change the way you're thinking about everything that has to do with what's sovereign really means and everything else. First of all, let me kind of like gives you a little bit of how this whole thing started, kind of like way back, as far as why and how I came up with those ideas. Okay, I was arrested not a couple months back, I believe, on a traffic warrant. Okay, for a ticket, of course, or traffic tickets. And actually, the reason why I was arrested, you can go back to my YouTube video, is was for the Murray case, my traffic stuff with Murray, where I sent the judge a letter stating that I'm not going to show up in court, and as such, he just issued a warrant. Now, here's really what happened that day. First of all, I pulled up at that Chevron gas station. Okay, I parked the car, stopped it. My cousin got out of the car to go buy some cigarettes. And as I was sitting in the car turned off, listening to the music, and he was coming back, and he was smoking a cigarette outside and coming back to the car. And I was just sitting in the car. There was a cop who was parked on the other side of the fence. He was parked in a bank. He was closed. I think it was a Saturday or a Sunday. The bank was closed. He was parked there. It was the highway patrol. He was parked there, just chilling. What he did that I didn't know is that he ran my plate from the other side. Come to find out that my insurance, the insurance on the car, not my insurance, but the insurance that my wife's pay on the car, was not paid for that month. So he tells me, hey, your registration and your insurance and whatnot. First of all, he came up around, he drove off the bank, came up all the way around it, behind me, pulled up behind me. He came to the window and like asked me, he said, oh, can I have your driver license? And I said, well, no, I mean, I'm not even driving right now. He's like, well, I saw you driving on the road. I said, it doesn't matter. I said, I'm parked right now on the private property. I don't see why you're going to come all the way here. You're on the other side of the fence. And he started asking me stuff. Well, I ran your plate. So anyways, he ran my plate, figured out I had no driver license, no registration. And he also found out I had a warrant. So he booked me in. I was not happy that day. Trust me, I was not happy. This is the first time I actually was charged with a ticket, non-moving, when I was parked somewhere. But anyways, this is not even important. But this is where it really gets the most important part. So I get inside that jail, and you sit down, you handcuff on those chairs for a while, and then until you move on to the next checkpoint. The searching checkpoint, and then you have the tank. You sit in there, then you talk to some people that work from the jail. Then you do your photo, you do your fingerprint and such. So I was in the first step. When you get in, you get checked in. At the point, I didn't sign any tickets. The cop didn't give me any tickets, anything else. He just booked me in. So I'm sitting on those chairs. They call me to actually like search me. So I walk up there. They search me, and the cops come with that paper. He say, "Well, this is your ticket. The charges signed there." And here's not. This is where it gets really important. He gives me the paper, and I told him, "I'm not signing it." And all of a sudden, everybody's looking at each other like, oh, "Holy shit! What are you talking about? Is he crazy?" I say, "I'm not signing it. I'm already in jail. You know, does it matter?" I'm like, "I'm not signing those tickets you gave me for no registration and no insurance and no driver license or no driver license." I said, "I'm not signing it." Okay. So, and I asked him, I say, "Am I obliged to sign this?" And then he says no. One of the other officers says yes. He said no. Well, no, you don't have to. But I think, well, I'm not doing it then. If I'm not obligated to sign it, I'm not gonna sign it. So they look at each other like, well, what the hell are we gonna do? So they just give me the paper. They give me a copy of the paper, and he just walks away. Now this is a very important point you guys gotta realize, and I will come back to this point. Now, so they search me, and then I go back downstairs, and I started thinking, I'm like, Jesus, I'm like, I mean, this is really. I'm just here voluntarily, Fab. I say, you need to start doing something. So I go to the next checkpoint. That's for the picture. And I'm on the line with 4 or 5 guys, and I was the last one. And as I come up to the line there, and I ask the guy there to take the photo, I say, here's the question I ask him. I said, well, what would happen if I refuse to take the photo? So he looked at me like, what are you talking about? I said, yeah, what would happen if I just refuse to take that photo? Now, here's what he tells me. He tells me, well, if you refuse to take the photo, then I'll just send you back over there and sit down, and you will just wait until you want to take the photo. I'm like, okay, whatever. Actually, I ended up taking the photo, which is really kind of stupid. But anyways, I go to the next checkpoint, the fingerprint. And I asked the guy the same question. I say, well, what would happen if I don't want to take those fingerprints? And he was like, well, if you don't want to take those fingerprints, we'll just throw you over there and, throw it in the tank over there, throw it in the little cell over there, and we'll wait until you want to take those fingerprints. And I started thinking that day. I said, you know what? Those guys really don't have any power over me, but the power that I give them. Obviously, they can't torture me. They can't torture me to take me a picture. They can't have 20 people hold me down just to have me, do like fingerprint. They can't break my finger to do it. They can't just grab me and throw me in front of that, camera. So I'm thinking, I'm like, this is just really just voluntary. Now here's the funny thing that happened. After I got released, a little bit later on, I came down to a very weird conclusion. And here's the conclusion I came down to. Well, first of all, here's what happened. As I'm leaving the jail, I find out that those charges that this Highway Patrol gave me disappeared. They disappeared. The charges never got brought up. Like every charge never got brought up. The charges are not there. I asked them. I said, where are those charges? Never got brought up. Never got brought up. Now you can argue saying that, well, maybe the prosecutor got rid of them because he felt that the way the cops did that day wasn't appropriate and was going to stand in court, or maybe it was just because I didn't sign it. Who knows? But all I can tell you is that I refused and it disappeared. Okay? This is the point I'm trying to make. Now, guys, now think about this for 1 second. Let's say you get arrested. The cops come to your window. And they usually ask you, now I've noticed a lot of them, they come and ask you directly, driver license or registration. And when the cops came to me and asked me the driver license and registration, I say, no, and I ask him, what did I do? And he started forcing me to say, driver license and registration. I said, no. I say, you tell me what I did wrong. And he said, well, you don't have registration and this and that. And then I gave him something with that name on it. That's when he started using. Now, guys, check this out, right? On some older video on YouTube, some people talk about this. They're saying this. If you have the right not to give any information that is going to be used against you or any information that is going to incriminate you, they start with your name. That's what those guys are saying. And I didn't really understand it until I was really kind of putting one and one together. So you get arrested and ask you for your name, and let's say you ask him, do you want my name, or do you want something, or you want to ask me what you can call me, for example? And if you say, well, I want your name, and I say, I don't have a name. For example, in my case, I don't have a driver license. I don't have an ID. I turn all those over. Don't have a driver license. I don't have an ID. The car is not registered under my name. So really, I walk around with no identification. And at the end, the only identification I give them is what I tell them. I say, if I say I'm such, then that's when I become such. Okay? Now here's the deal. He comes to me and says, well, what's your name? And I say, well, you can call me Donald Duck. He's gonna think it's a joke, but really, I'm being serious. Or I tell him, you know what, you can call me brother. Call me brother. He was like, well, sir, what's your last name? I said, I don't have one. You can call me this. Well, a lot of people think, well, that's crazy because you're gonna be thrown in jail. Well, okay, fine. I mean, people who know me knows I don't do stuff halfway. If I do something, I do it all the way. And this is what I kind of came up with a particular idea. So let's say, for example, they throw me in jail. And I get to the level when they start doing that, all that checkpoint stuff where they start to put me into the intake system. And I'm there, and they say, well, we're going to search you. And I say, no, you're not searching me. I refuse for you to search me. First of all, they don't know who I am yet. and they obviously gonna bring me to jail to figure out who I am because they want to fingerprint me. Now you see now where I'm actually getting down to. They want to fingerprint me. They want to figure out who I am. They're trying to associate something with me, a name, a profile with me. And I say, you know what? I refuse to. I'm not gonna give you a name. I'm not gonna have you search me. You're not gonna search me. You're not gonna put me in that jail either. I'm not gonna walk to the jail. I'm gonna see here. That's it. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? They're not gonna let you pass that door without searching you. Obviously, they're not gonna come and strip you down. I don't think so. It's gonna be a fight. That's gonna be a serious fight. But point blank period is that I'm not cooperating. Cooperating. This is the very key point here. Let's say they want to take my fingerprint. You're not taking my fingerprint. The only way you're gonna take my fingerprint is if you cut my hand off. Period. This is the kind of mindset that I'm talking about. You're not gonna take my fingerprint until you cut my finger off. What are they gonna use against you? What are they going to use against you? They don't know who you are. They can't prove who you are. They cannot associate that with you. I'm not signing anything. I'm not cooperating, and I'm not playing with you. I'm not playing a game. I'm not playing your BS. I'm here. I stand my ground. I stand my ground, and I'm not going anywhere. You do whatever you want to do. You know, you don't know who I am. You don't know. And even if they want to charge you with one of those traffic violations, we all know traffic violations are like statutes. We all know the statutes apply to residents or citizens of a state or of the United States. They haven't even proved yet at that point that you are a citizen of the United States. They haven't proved yet that you are a resident. They don't even know who you are. How are they gonna charge you with a crime if they don't know who you are? If you don't have a name, if they cannot associate you with a name, they can't do anything to you. I think that this will be a very interesting fight to see happen, as people being like, I don't have any identification, I don't identify myself as anybody. You will call me what I tell you you call me, and I will not walk through your jail system to put myself in there. Period. What would happen? I know what would happen already because I already asked them. You know, they say we will sit you down until you're willing to actually cooperate. How long? I don't know. It will depend on them. But according to what I've heard, is that they really cannot hold you for more than they can. I mean, if they don't really have a charge, they don't have any charges to charge you with. They don't know who you are. They don't have any reason to have you in there. So at the end, they might just release you. You know, but I think what I'm really trying to make, the point I'm really trying to make here is really ask yourself, guys, you know, what would happen if I completely disassociate myself with that name, that profile, that person they have in their system? You know, it's like, well, who are you? You know, they ask me, who are you? And I tell them, figure it out. You know, it's kind of like that type of answer. It's like, you have the burden of to prove who I am. You know, you want to know who I am? Prove who I am. You know, I'm telling you this is who I am. Does it make sense? So I think this is a very weird thing that I came up with, and this is all coming back from that arrest when I ask people, hey, what are you going to do if I'm not playing the game with you? What are you going to do if I'm not following? Are you going to torture me? Are you going to hurt me? Are you going to try to squeeze it out of me? So let's ask that self a question, because obviously I've figured this out. I figured this much, is that I know some people out there having a lot of success with um, fighting a lot of those traffic charges and stuff, and going to court and fighting them through paper. But I'm going another way. I'm completely removing myself from being anybody. I mean, would it be possible? So this is a question I'm asking everybody out there that's watching this video. Think about it for a minute. Let me know what you think about it. Post your comment. Let's have a conversation. Have a conversation about it. You know, and let's think about this. What would happen if, obviously, they need our consent? I know a lot of people that are saying, "Well, your consent don't matter." They need our consent. They need our consent to do certain things, and they need a voluntary uh, cooperation, being able to cooperate with them, and kind of like help them basically prosecute us. Okay? So ask us another question, guys. Post your comment and answer this question. What would happen if things will go the way that I stated? Um, Once again, this is a little crazy, but I thought I'd just put it out there. Thanks for watching, guys. God bless.